My name's Adam, and I wanted to introduce to you another version of the game Tafl. There's about 7 different versions, and this is one called Brandubh, and it means Black Raven. And it's 7 squares by 7 squares, the board, and there's 2 sides. One side plays the attackers, which is 8 pieces here. Uh, these are red. Sometimes you'll see them as black, but these are red. And the other player plays the 5 pieces here in the middle. These are the defenders of the king. There's 4 of them, and then the king here, the white piece here, is the king. And then the defenders are silver. On this set, sometimes you just see them all as white, and this might be a different design, but that's how this set is. And before getting to rules, this game really isn't documented in the historical records. It's sort of only mentioned by name in a poem, and where the poems kind of mention the name of the game, and then sort of metaphorically said how many pieces there was, sort of in a poetic way, on each side. And so this is kind of an estimate, mostly by writers on the internet, of what the game probably looked like. And this version is one of my favorite versions of the game, almost right up there with Tablet. It's really great. It's really exciting. Right off the bat, it really is just exciting right from the start. It doesn't take any time to get going. It just starts off really exciting. And it's a very popular. I don't know where you can play it on the internet. There's no sites currently that have it, but it is widely played. Most people play it live, and a lot of people have sets. A lot of the game may have been played by the Hiberno Vikings in Ireland, and so a lot of Irish people who are interested in the games of their ancestors really are interested in playing a game like this. So it's very popular. There are 3 types of pieces. There's the king piece, like we said, and then he has his pawns, and then there's the attacking pawns, and they all move like rooks in chess, so which is orthogonal movement. They go this way, they also go up this way, and they don't jump, and they don't move diagonal. So and then the king side wins whenever the king reaches a corner. The king has to, this is the first video series that I'm making where I'm going to discuss going to the corner. This game you can't play to the edge. It's way the king side would win just in a couple moves, and they're unstoppable moves. So the king must reach one of the 4 corner squares, one of the 4 corner squares to win the game. And he'll lose if he's surrounded on 2 sides. It just takes 2 sides. And this rule set is really the only one that kind of works. All these, just changing the rules a little bit kind of doesn't make it as balanced. It's really balanced this way. That's what's great about it. So the king's captured that way, or this way. It's still really hard to capture the king. And then it could also be 3 sides and the edge of the board, so he's kind of immobile. That would also be a capture. You can find the rules at BoardGameGeek.com. They have these set of rules. I usually don't agree with a lot of rules they have there for these top games, but that set of rules there is actually does make for the most playable game. And pieces are captured custodially, so if this piece was here, that just means that it takes 2 to capture 1, and it has to be on the move of the person of the side making the move. So here, this guy's gone. If he can land safely there because the red didn't move. He moved in between them, and he's safe. And it's not diagonal capture ever. That would not be a capture. So and then also in this game, it's necessary for the king to be able to capture, so the king can take part in captures. So if you have something like this, and this piece comes here, and then that'll be a capture. The king took. Oh, sorry, the other way around. This piece is here, and this guy went there. That would be a capture because the king can take part in captures. And there's no capturing any piece against the throne on this. Some of the other versions of Tafl, you can capture the king against the throne. This center square is called the throne, but not in this game. Nobody's captured against that. And the throne is off limits though to everyone once the king leaves. As soon as the king leaves, then nobody lands back on the throne. Anybody can pass through it. You know, any piece can pass through the throne, but they just can't make their final move onto the throne, the final space. And in this game also, the attackers move first. There's just a sort of a very slight advantage, though it's not always apparent. The game is pretty much evenly balanced, but you could play with the king side goes first, but I prefer to play with the attackers going first. It feels more balanced to me that way. And that's the way most people actually play Tafl games. Is they always, for everyone they play, they like to have the attackers move first. So it's okay in this game. And so as far as openings go, if you know, I make series of videos on Tafl games, and I made a really long one on Tablet, a really good one, and I talked about openings on this one. This one has several openings. You know, I'll just see the board is symmetrical in several different axes at the start of the game, just for the first move only. And you know, moving this piece one space that way is functionally the same as moving it that way, and same thing here. Those are all the same moving that piece. So you have you really only have 5 moves at the beginning, and I like to, when I explain the game, I always like to just move to the left, because we read left to right. So this guy, the inner piece, can move 1 space, or he can move 2 spaces or 3 spaces on the first move, and then or the outer piece can, in relationship to the king, he can either move 1 space or 2 spaces. So that's a total of 5 optional moves at the beginning. What's really neat about this game is that they're all, you can't really make too bad of a move at the beginning. Even a move like this, I've experimented with the game, and you know, one of the other rules that I didn't really explain, but anytime you play to the corner, in order to avoid, you know, the defending players from doing that, you can't capture them orthogonally. So the game would be over if you just in just a few moves, if they were able to easily get to the corner. So one of the most important rules about playing to the corner in Tafl games is when you use that rule set, the corner rule set, is no one's able to land on the corners except the king. Only the king can. And then one step further, that means that you would be able to go here and here, and then nobody can get to the corner. Well, they allow this, but you're allowed to capture against it. So the corner always gets to be, in this case, it's acting as another silver piece. It's always whatever the other piece is on the other side of this. So if it was here, it would, and then this guy came down here, now it's a red piece. You know, it's always whatever it is over here. Same thing over here. He captures here, now it's a red piece, and now he's captured. So any piece that's sitting next to here trying to protect this corner can be captured by an opposing piece placed next to it. So back to the openings. So I've actually, you know, experimented with it, and this guy's gone, and it is actually sort of possible to kind of hold ground for a little while. But those aren't the best. Moving out there is not the best move, and neither is moving there. The main reason is because, see, the game starts off as kind of a problem for the attackers, is that they have these 4. They have this half-open file here where there's no piece. There's only the silver piece on it. The defenders on it. Same thing here, same thing here, and here. In Tablet and other versions of Tops, you'll have other pieces here, you know, that can help you control those files, but there's nothing here, and so it's really important. See, now this is closed. Now this half open file that Silver is controlling is closed. So for the openings, that, you know, that move does the same thing, accomplishes the same thing. I like to play sort of closer in on my openings. So just as far as the openings are concerned, you know, that one's probably the best. You know, this one again, it would be doing the same thing. You've doubled up your men on this row where you already had a man anyway, so you don't have a man on here, which you want in order for efficiency and for control. It's really going to help prevent you know, the other side from controlling that file. So, but I have experimented with games again too of kind of doing that, and you're actually still, you can still make it work. But I wouldn't do that. There's no reason to make a sacrifice like that right away. So yeah, you know, same thing. Opening move, that side too, or this side. Those two are kind of the best, pretty much. And basically, if you have either side opening, you know, say if you want to be, you're playing a guy and he wants the defenders to move first. He doesn't really have too bad of moves either. I mean, he has just three. He only has 3 moves, optional moves, at the opening of the game. These 3 squares here, and each one is equally good. It's okay, you know. You can sacrifice that to open up the file. You can actually come down this far, and he's in no threat of being captured right away, and already he's attacking this here. Which is, we're going to find out later, these are really good squares to attack when you're playing to the corner. That's what you kind of have to attack. And the other thing about the openings is that there's really no pinned pieces at the beginning. Like if you recall from my series on Tablet, in Tablet you have pieces that are pinned at the beginning, from the beginning you know, pawn structure right at the start. But here you don't have to worry about that, so just keep that in mind. And so now, that was a discussion sort of the history and the rules and just a little bit in the openings. And now I'm going to make either 1 to 2 videos, depending on how much I babble on, but about each strategy in more detail, because it's going to the corners and there's not really another video yet I can refer you to about corner play, so I need to go into those into some detail.